Hi there, Lord JEG here. We're going to go on a little bit of a different tangent tonight because what I want to talk about is what the world needs now. What the world needs now is not a new Frank Sinatra, but what the world needs now is not more politics. What the world needs now is a new Art Bell. And let me explain. For those of you that don't know, Art Bell was a late-night radio talk show host. He started off originally as kind of a, your typical conservative radio-y type. He was a not an overnight guy, but like a late swing shift kind of guy. And he started on KDWN in Las Vegas, and which is a pretty big 50,000 watt AM radio station. And it was your typical, AM conservative talk radio. Nothing bad, but nothing really out of the ordinary. He got tired of doing this, and basically what he started doing was he started talking about things that interested him. And from there, his show just grew and grew. And he kind of covered the paranormal and conspiracy theories, and he was a big influencer as far as, getting NASA to image the face on Mars, thanks to him and a guy named Richard C. Hoagland. I'm sure the Kurgan has a few choice words to say about that. I'm not sure. He was kind of involved. He came under some flack for the Hale-Bopp controversy. And, he talked to remote viewers, which, those are the guys who spied on goats or whatever it was, whatever that movie was where they supposedly could, divine occurrences, divine things. So it was pretty interesting. It was an interesting show. He always had interesting guests on. He very rarely ever interviewed politicians, but he always interviewed people who were interesting. Remote viewers like Ed Dames and Courtney Brown, who was actually involved in the Hale-Bopp controversy. Richard C. Hoagland. Who's the crazy guy? The kind of like a modern Timothy Leary. And his name escapes me, but he's just nutty as a fruitcake, that guy. He's dead now, but he was on a few times. And I always really enjoyed listening to that sort of thing because he just let him talk. He wasn't wide-eyed and believed every word, but at the same time, he wasn't an asshole skeptic or anything. He just let them talk. And when they started getting too far out in the weeds, he'd ask a few incisive questions, or he'd kind of play dumb and ask some questions, and he'd kind of bring them back. And it was really good, And then he would have open lines, which personally I hate because, again, most people are idiots. And so if you open up the lines, a lot of people, that to them, that's what made the show. But to me, that was never the show. The show was always the guests. But that's really what I think we need, because the problem is mainstream media now more than ever has a stranglehold on the narrative, which is unfortunate. And there are alternatives out there. There's unauthorized TV. There's the the OAN News Network, and there's Alex Jones, InfoWars, etc. So there are alternatives out there. But the thing is that everybody has their own agenda, and everybody's setting their own agenda. Everybody's fighting basically an info war. And sometimes you just need to take a break from that and indulge in a little conspiracy and indulge in a little fun. And, have a little fun with the paranormal. Have a little fun with, stuff that to the average normie is just crazy, like, remote viewing or faces on Mars or, bases on the moon or whatever, I mean, that stuff was really fringe 20, 30 years ago. Now, not quite so fringe, but still a little bit fringe. But at the same time, it's a little fun. So, I don't know. I think we need more of that. You know, we need because we have a counterpoint to the mainstream narrative, and that's fine. That's good. That's exactly what you need. But we just don't seem to have a lot of just interesting, kind of a little bit out there, you know, for lack of a better word, fluff, you know, intellectual fluff that you got to have, you know. You got to kind of push the boundaries sometimes of your reality or of your normalcy. And that's really what we need. And so, I don't know. Any of the 6 people or 9 people out there who, you know, if you have some influence in that, then go do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because, you know, I mean, I would love to live stream. I would love to do an Art Bell type deal, but, you know, again, you know, my reach is what, 9 people? You know, maybe 12 on a good day. So, you know, it's not really going to happen with me, but you know, or who knows, maybe if I build it, they will come. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, it's just something that I wanted to ramble about. That I really miss that. I really just miss having a show that wasn't political. It wasn't, you know, it didn't take itself too seriously. That's another thing I liked about Art Bell, is that he would be invited to all these conferences and stuff. And again, he always kept a very neutral position. You didn't really know what his thoughts on those things were. And I think that's, as a host, I think that that's what you need. I think that's what really drew people to him, is that he never said, oh yes, this is real, or oh no, this is bullshit. You know, he was always, again, he always gave his guests plenty of time to explain themselves, plenty of time to go out there, and again, sometimes a little time to get lost, and then he'd draw them back in, and he never proclaimed judgment one way or the other. He just let his guests talk. And a lot of times you don't see that anymore on either side. You don't see anybody just letting the person talk or say what they want to say. And I really miss that. I really think that we need something like that. So anyway, that's about all I really wanted to say is, sorry you died, Art. Sorry you couldn't be around to do this sort of thing. And, you know, hopefully there'll be another one. Anyway, thanks for swinging by. Hello. I guess we're having a visit from Sandy, the needy Vishla, as if any Vishla isn't needy. And thanks for swinging by. Talk to you later. Take care.